Welcome back to the Craic, ladies and gentlemen. We are one day away from a little thing we are calling Uncrowned Saturday. That's right. It's a big old week. We got Dubois I should say Usyk v Dubois 2 from Wembley Stadium for the undisputed heavyweight title of the world. We have Poirier's final fight against Max Holloway. PFL Africa breaking ground in a new continent. Fantastic stuff. Manny Pacquiao out of retirement. We have KSW. And we have Bam Rodriguez. A lot of stuff happening. Look at that beautiful graphic on Air Jordan's put up on the screen. I'm back in beautiful Blanchardstown, and I must have taken that New York climate with me because I am pissing sweat as I'm talking to you. I don't know what happened to the weather over here, but as I told the boys before I started, it is very moist. I celebrated my 38th birthday yesterday on the back of the word moist. I apologize for that. But I was getting a massage, and because I'm still on New York time, I woke up and I was snoring in the poor masseuse's face. I was getting the old shoulder sorted out there, and I woke up with this. What do you do in that situation? You immediately apologize. And what do I have to do now? I have to apologize to my good friend Ben Fowlkes, who wasn't on the show last week, but is returning today. Ben Fowlkes, just like I apologize to that masseuse for falling asleep and snoring in her face, I would like to apologize to you and also congratulate you on the quick recovery from the horrible ice hockey incident that you went through last week.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, there's not a ton of ice hockey related incidents that happen in the month of July, especially in Montana, where, we barely have the money to keep an ice rink going during the actual winter. We got to melt that stuff to make way for all the sheep and the prize pigs to come in for the fair, man. Don't be ridiculous. I also like how you're opening where you describe you mimed snoring, you referred to yourself as pissing sweat, you used the word moist twice. Like in 60 seconds, you packed in several good reasons for people to stop watching. Like you made a strong case that they should just hit close on that browser window and do something else with their lives. And I appreciate that about this show in particular.
Oh man, this demographic's made of tougher stuff than that, Ben. Come on. They can stomach it.
Chuck, all the way across the world, we were able to touch each other last week. It's so far away now. It's emotional.
There he goes again. Now he's really trying to turn him off. Yeah, it was great seeing you, man. That was that felt to me like a marathon week, and I was only there 2 days, and you were there the full week. So, kudos to you for still being able to do that pub crawl on the Sunday after all of that stuff that you did during the week. I don't know how you did it, man.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up because at the very back of this episode, we will be rolling the footage from the now infamous New York pub crawl. The great on-air Jordan edited together. I got a quick look at it. It is very, very good. I don't usually do that kind of stuff. I made my pretty much my debut with the boys in the back on their fight feast yesterday. Crawfish, who knew? Huh? Like, Jesus. But they came with me. It was an absolutely brilliant day, and Jordan did an excellent job. So check it out. And we rated. I'm an influencer now, by the way. I was rating Guinness all over New York City. And I should also mention, as I said, that will be shown at the back end. We'll give it the big G up then. I was even joined by some of my friends, some from Blanchardstown, would you believe, that were on the trip with us. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the reason why, and we'll get to the fights in a minute, the reason why I'm extra sweaty, guys, is my next door neighbor's cat got locked in my house about 15 minutes before we had to go live. And I'm actually allergic to cats. And the cat is a beautiful cat. His name is Jasper. He's a very fluffy guy. And I was just kind of walking into my bedroom, and there's Jasper sitting on the bed, and he's going, what are you going to do, mate? You know what I mean? So I was like, oh shit, ring Elaine. I'm like, Elaine, what am I going to do here? She's like, make a clear path to the door. So I made a clear path to the door. Jasper was like, no, I quite like it here. Reggie wasn't there to intimidate him. Reggie was out with Elaine. That's my dog, by the way. So next of all, Elaine comes home. I have to section Reggie off. And then my neighbor who owns the cat arrives at the door on crutches. And she's like, I just blew out my MCL. I don't know how we're going to figure this out. So it's, and look, you can see the perspiration here. This is not a joke. It eventually got sorted. But yeah, Jasper, fantastic guy. On air, Jordan, you can confirm. I sent you pictures of Jasper, did I not? He's not. Oh, on air, Jordan. Already taken the
I love
off.
when you throw to Jordan and he's not there.
Yeah, see? There you go.
And Petesy, you have these sort of ordeals, and this wouldn't even be in the top 10 of the crazy
I
things
know.
that happened 15 minutes before we tape.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, it's always something, isn't it? And this one, pretty mild.
Yeah.
Also, I love that. First of all, Jasper, great name for a fluffy cat.
He's gorgeous.
I love the neighbor coming to your door on crutches and basically leading with, I have no solution for this problem. Wanted to come over here, acknowledge that I know there's a problem. Also wanted to say right up front, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah. That's great.
And then I'm trying to be real friendly. I'm like, no, it's no problem. I'm just allergic and I've got to do a show. And if I hold the cat, my eyes are going to swell up. And they're just like, yeah, my knee is fucked. And I was like,
we all got problems, man. That's what they're saying.
Elaine, right? In a quick-witted moment, Elaine takes the crutch from the neighbor and goes up and chases the cat out of the room.
Oh my God.
And down the stairs like a wild lunatic.
We got to start taping 15 minutes earlier is what he's saying. You know?
Jordan, let the people, if you can, I've sent you a picture of Jasper from earlier. If you can, let the people see Jasper. Let them acknowledge his beautiful face at some point.
That was for the show.
That was for the show. The picture of my
mistake.
toilet. Yeah, the picture of my toilet. With
I didn't
Jasper
want to
beside-
show what was in the toilet.
I mean, you know, yeah, probably don't. Actually, you know what? You're right. Let's leave it alone. Lads, as I mentioned at the top of the show, a few fights on this week, some of which we have talked about on the beautiful Uncrowned website, which is the place to be this week. Uncrowned Saturday, as we're calling it. And there we have it again. Look at all these beautiful posters. Holloway v. Poirier 3. Pacquiao v. Barrios. Oh, what's that one over there? That's PFL Africa. That's right. Breaking new ground, baby. You got KSW 108. We have, of course, Usyk v. Dubois 2. Very excited for that one. And then we have the Bam Rodriguez fight against Cafu later on that day. Oh, actually, when me and Chuck are going to be doing this watch party, post-show, I don't know if some of these fights are still going to be going ahead. So
That's a good question.
It's going to be a wild
we're going
situation.
on after UFC 318, though, right? Like, that's what we're focused on.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
I don't know.
So PFL will be locked up by then. KSW definitely will. Usyk v. Dubois will.
KSW, come on.
I mean, I know you're buzzing. We're all fucking buzzing for KSW. But yeah, it's going to be a wild week. Lads, as I said, Uncrowned, all the stuff is up there. Myself and Chuck did our wonderful roundtable, as we always do. First question the great Mindenhall put to me is, what is the biggest fight of the weekend? And I looked at it today, and we both seem to agree that it is the undisputed heavyweight title fight between Usyk and Dubois, their second meeting, of course. And I was wondering, what does Benjamin think is the biggest fight of the weekend?
You know, I feel like I kind of can't just say it's Usyk Dubois because
No, you can't.
then that's no fun. That's no fun at all. And honestly, somebody has to come on here and be the MMA homer and say,
oh, here we go,
Dustin Poirier.
Oh,
You know, I'm especially when I saw on this card. Oh, okay. So Mad Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa are on the same fight card, presumably in the same host hotel.
yeah.
This is a conversation me and Chad Dundas had over on the co-main event this week. We're like, do you think that there's somebody at this point in the UFC where their entire job, like similar to where you have to have somebody at a big, complicated family wedding to be like, no, you can't sit Uncle Merle over there next to like
you know
Cousin
this has
Edna.
to be the case.
Like somebody has to be over there
Has to.
being like, okay, look, if we don't want another incident at the breakfast buffet, we need to make some arrangements and take some steps to keep these two guys away from each other. Though I'll say this, like, I mean, if you're talking about just like pure stakes, like, yeah, the heavyweight title going up for grabs, boxing, it's got to be the biggest deal of the weekend. But as far as emotional stakes, for me personally, you know, Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway feels like that rare kind of fight where I actually believe at least more than in most instances, that this is a retirement fight that is actually a retirement fight. It also seems like the rare, in MMA anyway, retirement fight that we can kind of feel good about almost regardless of what happens. It doesn't seem like we're doing the thing where we're feeding the old to the young. It doesn't seem like we're trying to set up a squash match where it only works if one guy wins. Kind of whatever outcome you get here, you can feel like, okay, we did the right thing for the right reasons. I think we're almost certainly going to get a good fight out of it. And you just feel like, all right, this feels like a kind of thing where I can get excited about it. It doesn't need to have some sort of championship stakes. I mean, we can get into the whole thing with the BMF, the title that means whatever we want it to mean at any given moment. But it does feel like, all right, we're going to have a Dustin Poirier homecoming. He's going to go out on a good note. One of the good guys in the sport, one of the vanishingly few good guys in the sport. And he's going to get the good exit, or at least like an appropriately, fitting farewell, like a final salute to him, whether he wins or loses. You can feel good about that. That to me, maybe because it happens so rarely in this sport, that's the big thing for me this weekend.
Well, I think BMF stands for Ben motherfucking Folks. That's what I
Oh,
think.
yes.
That's a very good. I was thinking about that same thing too, man. Petesy, we did that show after Frankie Edgar fought Gutierrez. Remember that? Like in his final fight, he's from Tom's Raider. He's fighting at Madison Square Garden. The kid wants to fight. This is a guy who's been around for a long time. He's fighting at Madison Square Garden, and they feed him to this younger guy who basically to get him over, at that point. And we get this brutal knockout, and it just had such a depressing feel to it. And I think, if the UFC was trying to kill off Poirier, it was probably happened back when it was the Saint Denis fight, right? I think that was the one that they're like, okay, here's where we're going to trade momentums here. We're going to swap this guy out for him. And he turned it back. And he ends up getting a title fight. And I think that's, in the end, he kind of forced this situation where he's like, hey, man, let's have a big celebration for my retirement fight in New Orleans. And I think that part is very cool. It's very unusual for a guy who is never some kind of reigning champion or something like this to get any kind of big event based around them. But this feels so specific and it feels right. And I think that the great thing about it is, with the Max Holloway being who he is, you're probably going to get a delivered fight where these guys, I think Max is going to accommodate him in any way they want to go. I feel like it delivers. And you're right. Even though nobody wants to see either guy lose, everybody's going to win in the end, right? Like even if Dustin loses, I think that the crowd will appreciate they'll give him his proper send off. So I think it's a really good setup for that.
And you make a good point with the Frankie Edgar example where they fed him basically to Chris Gutierrez, and you're just like, we see what you're doing. Everybody who has followed this sport for any length of time, we can see what the UFC is thinking there. The fighters can see it too. I was just talking to Lauren Murphy about this last week, where it's just like, okay, the UFC knows you're going out on this one. You're 41. They match you up with a fighter 10 years younger. What you can look into their thought process and see what they're thinking there. And some of that is just, that's the way the fight game has always worked. That's the promoter playbook. They don't even think about it anymore. They go, oh, you're on the way out. Let's see who's on the way up. Let us see if we can get a little bit of this shine to rub off on them. But then you look and it's like, all right, so you went out there, you depressed us all by getting Frankie Edgar knocked out by Chris Gutierrez. Did Chris Gutierrez become a star off the back of that? No, not at this moment. He has not. I mean, there's still time left on the clock for him and everything, but it's not like it immediately turned around from that, where it's just like the fight world went, all right, hey, that was a bummer, but it was worth it because now we're all on the Chris Gutierrez train. It did not really work that way. And so it feels much better if they're like, all right, we want to send you out. Who's a peer? Where the fight doesn't have to mean anything and it would still be meaningful. You guys have some personal history, but it's like, if you go out there and you do get brutally knocked out by Max Holloway, we go, all right, hey, fair enough.
Right.
That doesn't feel like that's an outcome we were angling for selfish reasons.
The one thing though, I will say, as the exception to the rule, for Nate Diaz, they gave him Tony Ferguson, man. That was a pretty good fight on an outro,
they
wasn't
didn't
it?
want to.
Oh, wait. What's
so good of the UFC.
Wait, hold on.
No,
hold
you're
on.
right,
What's
Chuck.
right.
Great bunch of lads, the UFC. To a point that Ben made earlier, Chuck, on a scale of John Jones to Habib, how seriously you're taking this retirement talk from Dustin, I'd be inclined to agree with Ben's synopsis. Like, this feels genuine. I feel like Dustin is even emotional today on the scales. You guys saw him kind of like, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Looked very good. Obviously, he looked a bit drawn out, as you tend to do when you're losing 25 odd pounds. Oh, here we go. Here's the image of him on the scales. Like, looks
good.
quite emotional. Yeah. I mean, kind of looks like me with my shirt off, if I'm being honest. But do you believe that this will be the last time that we see Dustin Poirier in the UFC? Or fighting at all, should I say?
I put it towards the Habib side of that. If we're using that scale,
Yeah.
I mean, not with John Jones as well, who's gone 2 weeks before. But I would put it toward the Habib thing. I does it change for you guys if he wins? Like, say he goes in there and he just looks the best he's looked. He goes in there and wins. Does that change
That's a good
anything?
point. That is a good point.
I don't know. I think that the question is not just how good does he look and what's the outcome. It would be what would the UFC think to do with him as a result of that?
Yeah.
Because I saw some comments where like coaches saying like, hey, it would take something big to get him back, but it's not necessarily impossible. And that's the point where I don't want to begrudge fighters the opportunity to retire and then change their minds later. It has always been prize fighting. It's always been do what is best for you from a money perspective. If somebody were to come to Dustin Poirier, whether it's the UFC or something else later on, and be like, we're offering you this huge life-changing amount of money to come back and do one fight, I don't think he owes it to us, like the fans, the media, anybody, to say, no, I already went through that whole retirement thing, and so therefore I cannot go back on my word. Hey, go ahead and take that fight. But I think that you would want to look and see, like, what would the UFC think they could use you for if you were to come back? Would they be talking about, like, hey, we could really do some business with a Dustin Poirier, Ilia Topuria title fight? Then I think like, yeah,
Right.
You don't know anybody to say like, hey, I gotta say no to this title fight, especially if you think you can win it, you think you could get that. I think the UFC might think twice about having a guy who seemed like for a little bit now he's been teetering right on the brink of retirement. I don't know if you want to offer that guy a title fight, especially if you think he might actually win it, because then how long is he going to stick around with it? But I do think that if you see a future for yourself where you're like, I win this Max Holloway fight, I got a lot of momentum, and the UFC goes, all right, who's our next up Benoit Saint Denis? Who could we use
Right.
you for? Because we
Yeah,
know
it
you're
just
not
goes back
here
into
long.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to go back into that spin cycle where they're just going to do that thing to you all over again. Like if they say, all right, you and Arman Sarukian next, I think that's where you go, nah, I'm good.
I know
I'm
exactly.
going to stay home. Although it wouldn't, I was watching Goldberg on Ariel's show talking about his WWE send off, and of course Goldberg has some complaints. Figure that. And but when he asked about retirement, because it's like a pro wrestling retirement is even more malleable and temporary
Oh,
than
yeah.
an MMA fighter retirement, and he was like, you probably never retire for sure until they lower you in the ground, but I do feel like if you do
And
it
even
in your
then, the
hometown,
Undertaker's come back.
yeah. Yes. If you do this kind of like hometown thing, or it's like adopted hometown kind of thing, all your friends and family come out, everybody makes a big deal about you for the retirement. It does make you at least think twice if you were going, I have to then turn around and tell those people 6 months from now, thanks for coming, but
I
it
know.
was not the retire. It's like if everybody showed up to your surprise birthday party and you're just like, actually, my birthday is 6 weeks from
I
now.
know.
Like people are gonna be like, what the hell? So
Hey, man. I've seen Motley Crue on their farewell tour too many times. You know what I mean?
Here, it's like you actually like. I read you wrote a brilliant piece about Dustin. Ben, is it fair to say, like, I mean, he has inspired your poetry. Like, this guy is like, honestly, like that is a profound impact to have on someone. Like, is it fair to say that, he has a special place in your heart? I mean, I remember that series you wrote in ATT back in the day. It was absolutely incredible. He's obviously said something very profound to you, which you revealed to us in this article. But is it fair to say that he has a special place in your heart in terms of your career?
yeah, I think so. I think that, a lot of times when you're in the MMA media, especially when you talk to friends or just like people who, are fans of the sport and come to know that you write about it, and they want to know, they're like, who are your favorite fighters? And they always think it's going to be the very best fighters. They think you're going to pick like one of the all-time great champions or something. And the truth is that uh, I think this is probably true for you guys too, where you feel like the ones that are my favorites are the ones who became my favorites as both people and fighters. And it's not
Absolutely.
necessarily because they won them all. It's just because like something about them, you felt like this person is somebody like I connect with, or like something about them resonates with me emotionally, and I feel invested in their journey. And I think Dustin Poirier, it's not only because he has an ability to put into words some of these things that other fighters are living but maybe can't quite express. Especially when he said this stuff to me that I have been thinking about ever since he was 25. You know,
Wow.
it's like that was he kind of always had that part of the gift, but it's also that I think when you see a fighter come in and it's not like he is Mozart, who is just a child prodigy of this, like somebody like John Jones was, where it seems like John Jones came in, you could tell immediately this guy's going to be something special. And in some ways, those gifts may have stunted his growth as a person, like that how easy and how immediate the success came to him, like maybe stopped him from growing as a person. And Dustin Poirier felt like a guy where it's not like he ever sucked, but it was like he seemed like a guy who was kind of a regular dude for the UFC. And he just kept at it, kept getting better, kept finding ways to either win fights or come back from losses. And I think that shows us what we actually like about this sport, like what really resonates with people. It's not just like knockouts, and it's not just seeing champions beat everybody up. It's seeing somebody go through that struggle, and you feel like over the years you went through it with him just because you watched it. You cared enough that his ups and downs felt like they affected you in some way. And so it's like you come to the end and it makes you sort of reflective about that. Like one of the weird things I've noticed is like there are times where I can, you pinpoint some events that happen in your life where you're trying to think about like what year was it where this thing happened in my life, where this thing happened. And one of the ways that I use as like a marker of time is MMA stuff that I was covering or MMA stuff that was going on. And it's so weird to reflect on that. Like I can remember what day of the week my youngest daughter was born because I had to go home that night and watch Ronda Rousey fight Kat Zingano. So I'm like, that was a Saturday morning. You know, like that kind of stuff, you just kind of realize like it's these people's careers and their paths and their own stories that help you sort of know where you stood in time.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what
That's
I just say
answer.
about that too? He was one of those rare guys where you kind of felt shotgun with him the whole way. And it goes back to the Fightville, like, because at the time there wasn't a lot of documentaries and things like that. That Fightville, I felt like when we were covering it back then, it came out and you're watching Dustin Poirier like as a kid, right? And like when he debuted, I think it was that Josh Grisby fight, and Grisby was the one everybody talked about. If you remember, they were like, watch out, this dude's a beast. He's gonna, whatever it's gonna be. And I felt like from the very first, like you mentioned, it wasn't like he was a prodigy, but there was something about being vicariously hitched to this guy's career because we saw him very young and he worked his way through it. And there is something about his way of communicating that's always very real. I was pointing this out to somebody else recently. I feel like you never get a different version of Dustin Poirier. If you went back in time, you'd still have the same version. If he's like, say that you were just sitting in the living room with him and his mom, he'd be the same dude. He'd still be talking her exact same way that he'd be talking to us or to his opponent. He doesn't really change his like the way he carries himself is exactly the same. And therefore there's a very genuine kind of connection I think he has when you get to know him over the years. So I think that that's one of the reasons he's like become such a fan favorite and has this whole weekend kind of circled for himself here.
Yeah, he's had an incredible career. Like, I mean, we could pick out best moments. I actually saw this. We talked about it as well in that roundtable. But so many people have a different Dustin Poirier moment, which is a really cool thing to have as a fighter. Be like, oh, I think it's this one. No, it's actually this one. Like to have so many. It's incredible. It's like a rock band with a back catalog of 20 brilliant singles or something. Like he's an absolutely brilliant fighter. Chuck, is this a good card? Like with all this emotional sentiment we have for Dustin Poirier, which is evident, is this blinding us, or is it in fact a really good card we're getting in New Orleans?
By pay-per-view standards, it's not like a great card, but I think if you look at it, and I hate to kind of be that guy who does the retrospective. Well, you got to watch the fights before you can determine if it's a good card or not. But I do think,
thank you, Dana.
I know, I do think that if you look down the card, there's some pretty good fights. Like I don't think the stakes aren't high, the stars aren't like the most bright, but I think there are some good fights. Some of them fairly lopsided, but they're also like in terms of the odds. But there are guys like Michael Johnson who sometimes wins the fights he's supposed to lose and loses the fight he's supposed to So there's a little wild card elements in there and stuff like that, but it's not a great pay-per-view. I don't think you're getting tons of bang for your buck, but it's not a bad card if you just like fights. I think you're going to get a lot of action on this.
You agree, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a great card if it didn't cost you $80 to watch on pay-per-view. I mean, that's the thing here is that outside of the main event, you look at every other fight on this card, there's nothing there that would be way out of place on a UFC fight night.
True.
Now, I'm not talking about the Apex fight nights.
Old school fight night.
I'm talking about the current tier, how we have, where we have pay-per-view at the top, we got Apex at the bottom, and in the middle we got UFC fight night in front of an actual crowd whenever we can find a city willing to pay us to come there. And any of these fights would be at home on that middle tier. And so it's reasonable for people to look at it when you're asking them to pay such premium prices and for them to be like, what is here that feels like it could only be a pay-per-view fight? And it's just the top one. Yeah,
just BMF.
It's just, and see, that's where I feel like, did we do Dustin a little bit of a disservice on his retirement fight to not give a better supporting cast here? I mean, you could argue like, hey, we're going to New Orleans, we're down there in Louisiana, even if we're not in his actual hometown of Lafayette, but everybody gets to come and see him. The focus is very much on him, where it might not be if we had another title fight or something else on this card. So there is that nice element, but it's also like, when you look at the rest of the card, and aside from that main event, just does feel, at least on paper, like one of the more missable ones of recent months.
Wow. Daniel Cormier is happy. I mean, he gets to go home, and the Nelk boys are happy, I think.
Yeah.
But beyond
their teeth look fantastic.
Oh my
you see
God.
the Nelk boys' teeth? Incredible.
I did want to point out, okay, you see Dustin Poirier on the stage, squaring off Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier at the press conference. For one thing, I saw somebody point out that how funny it is where you're like, all right, so what you have there is two guys who started their careers as featherweights and are now lightweights, and both of them look taller than the former heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
But also, I love, man, everything about Daniel Cormier, how you just watch that guy walk through a room and you're like, well, there's a wrestler. There's a guy who would be at home, like with a whistle around his neck, you know.
Bowling pins run when they see him coming, man. It's like
you just like, that's such a born wrestler and wrestling coach out there in his cargo pants at the press conference, you know. Everything about the guy just seems like he's at home in a sweatsuit, yelling at kids in nylon singlets to be tougher. And I love it. I love having him around.
Even the direction he gave to them, I thought was great. Like, he brings them in, he said, "You guys are two gentlemen." Then he goes, "Stare at the crowd." Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot we had to do this. Stare at the crowd.
He's got history with both, right? Because he's got the Louisiana connection to Poirier, but then him and Holloway. Holloway used to always be like, "I'm going to fight Daniel Cormier." Remember, he was always talking about
this week. This week as well, he's been hitting that one.
I'm glad we didn't see that one.
Look, your excitement levels might not be through the roof, but Paulo Costa was literally vibrating at the press conference. I just wanted to show you this video.
That cocaine's a hell of a drug.
This.
No,
Look at this, man. I mean, does he know he's fighting a Russian with a savage volume?
is that really?
Like,
That's not sped up? What the?
No. That is him literally answering a question about Hamza Chimaev. That is normal speed, right? On Jordan, he can't talk. Don't know why I asked him.
Whoa.
I don't know if you've ever read the back of a bottle of secret juice, but
I have
the extensive list of things that can potential side effects. It can cause jittery, kind of shaky feelings. So that's the trade-off. You want to blast off to the moon, you got to put some rocket fuel in there. You know what I'm saying? Balacasa, he's hyped. He's ready to go.
It's bizarre.
That was not sped up.
Oh, thank you, George.
That was live speed and clearly not on a bottle of wine.
He could be on a bottle of wine. That's a good
mean, or off a bottle of wine. Like, you get those kind of shakes.
Up in there. There's no doubt about that. Maybe last Saturday morning I was there. More about that at the back of the show. But picks, guys. GC is running away with this fucking thing.
No, he's not. I'm one behind him. I'm one behind him.
He has
a lot of year left. A lot of picking left to do.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look. Do we have the graphic there, right, Jordan? I'm viciously mid-table right now. Look at this.
Well, I hope you can see that. I mean,
you expect me to see what's going on here.
All right, I'll tell you. All
right.
Right, so we're all going with Mr. Zellhuber against Johnson, despite the fact that Chuck highlighted earlier that he is indeed a spoiler, and he definitely is. In terms of the Pitbull v. Ige matchup, Mr. Drake Riggs, I don't know why I mispronounced Drake Riggs, who is in New Orleans.
Drake.
Drake Riggs. He is going with Patricio Pitbull. Shaheen Al-Shadi, our fearless editor, is going with Patricio Pitbull. And yes, Mysterious Frank is going with Patricio Pitbull. And guess who else is going with, I don't know why I keep saying his full name, Patricio Pitbull. It is Ben Fowlkes. Tell us about that one, Ben. Go ahead. Tell us about that choice.
Look, when you're down there near the bottom of the table,
I like how you adjust. You adjust it. Well, let me tell you.
You're down there.
You got to take some swings. You know, you got to dig yourself out of that hole. And if you just make the same picks everybody else is going to make, then you're never going to gain any ground. You got to take some chances. This is one where I can be like, all right, maybe the pit bull that we saw in his first UFC fight, a lot of people don't look great in their first UFC fight. Even longtime veterans of the sport have come in and struggled in their first UFC fight. So it's entirely possible that he comes in for the second one, especially knowing that you really, really got to win this one, and performs a whole lot better. So yes, I was able to talk myself into that one there, and no regrets.
I like this strategy, you know? No
Let's
regrets.
Let's have a look at that again there, Jordan.
I just take the favorites, you know?
Yeah. I think I did take the favorites, honestly, all of them. The only person that is not taking Mr. Kevin Holland as he faces off against Daniel Rodriguez is our fearless editor, Shaheen Al-Shadi, sitting fourth in the charts. Well, he's tied with me, Petesy Carroll, who is just one ahead of Mr. Ben Fowlkes. Not quite up there in the dizzying heights of Chuck Mindenhall, as we can see.
You should see the view up here, man. It's beautiful.
It's like being on one of those walks with Ben with the dog, just looking at the beautiful landscapes. Like, oh my God. And the co-main event there, I believe it is only, it's Chuck Mindenhall. No, it's Al-Shadi, who has Paulo Costa, and it is in fact Mysterious Frank who has Paulo Costa. And
I didn't see him shaking like that when I made my pick, though. This is.
Are you on Paulo as well? No, you're on Kopylov.
Oh, I can't see the thing. All right, yes, I was going to say I thought I picked Kopylov, but who knows?
Kopylov, who was my MMA fighting prospect of the year back in 2019. Finally,
is that right?
Finally making it there to the promised land. Yeah, I got them all, man. Hamzat Chimaev before he got to the UFC, Cyril Gane before he got to the UFC, Aspinall before he got to the UFC. All of them. I'm fucking
Jimmy
good.
Hedis.
Jimmy Hedis never fucking made my list. All right, he never got on there. Remember him though, Jesus. Finally for the main event, and aces are wild here. Poirier, Mr. Conor Burke's going with Poirier. Chuck Mindenhall is going with Poirier. Drake Riggs is going with Holloway. Shaheen Al-Shadi with Poirier. Petesy Carroll is going Holloway. Ben Fowlkes with Poirier. Eric Jackman, Holloway. And Mr. Mysterious Frank also with Holloway. So 2 Poirier guys, boys. You're thinking with your heart. You love this guy too much. I'm about to fucking take a point off you at the weekend.
That's fine. Honestly, I would rather in this one pick Poirier and be wrong than pick Holloway and be right. I can't live with myself if I turned against Dustin Poirier at this late hour of the game. Plus, it's 2-0 against the guy.
Yeah,
that's about as good as you can do.
And the power, like his power has translated well in the series so far, even though the first one was so far back. But I wonder. My only question is like if Holloway, you know, now that he's grown into the 55 frame, like because the last time it felt like he was masquerading, right? Like it felt like he was just kind of going up. He wasn't really to that point. So I guess it does feel like there's an air of mystery to this one, even though they faced each other twice before.
Yeah, Ben and you have both now convinced me that I fucked up there. Yeah, just, you know, the 2-0 thing should have really been front of mind when I was making this pick.
If they'd let me pick by method, I would have said Dustin Poirier via guillotine.
Oh, can you imagine?
This is my prediction. We have ourselves a 5-round war. Final minute of round 5. Dustin Poirier grabs the guillotine, jumps for it. And we find out that what he needed to put him over the edge with that guillotine was the swell of the crowd. Can you imagine?
Oh my God,
the noise that will come up in that building the moment you see Dustin Poirier jump for that guillotine, and that's what's going to.
They would put a statue out front of the guillotine at that point.
I didn't know Ben was working on a Hollywood script based around this last fight of Poirier. Instead of pointing at the ground, he points to the crook of his arm. Get
in there. Get in there.
Yeah, very, very good. We're looking forward to it. I'm a lot more excited now. I always do this. I'm always like not really feeling the buzz, and then we talk about it. And I'm actually like, fucking hell, I love MMA. What the fuck was I thinking? But no, we are not talking about MMA for the next 5 to 10 minutes. It is in fact the Wembley card. Beautiful Wembley Stadium, all the way over there in cheery old London, where they love an old cup of tea and a fucking crumpet and whatever you're having yourself. They will be fighting, of course, for the second time. Really liked the drama of the first fight, you know. the 5th round, the body shot. The ref gives Usyk like 3.5 minutes.
You
to
mean the
recover
low
from it.
blow?
It's the fucking body shot, okay? We're trying to make this interesting. Yeah, it was determined a low blow. Let's be honest. You were correct again, Chuck Mindenhall. Oh, we have a little bit of a highlight here. But you're allowed to play this. We're allowed to watch this, right? Like, this isn't illegal. Oh my
We're
God.
allowed to watch this. Yeah.
I mean, he just sprung this on me. I mean, now, Chuck.
There it was.
Blow.
Oh, run it back. I missed it. I was looking down.
Look at the performative stuff out of this Usyk guy. I mean, is he even a good guy? Does anyone know for sure? And there he is, knocking him out in the 9th round, of course.
Yeah.
Talksport, I don't know if you guys like a bit of Talksport. It is like a British sports outlet. This kept them going for about 2 months after. They were getting Dubois' coach on. He was fucking losing his mind. I believe he went for fucking Gareth A. Davies at some point. I respected you, Gareth. It was fucking crazy. It was a lot of drama. It's finally happening. Joseph Parker just disregarded back in February. Good luck, mate. We're actually doing this rematch. Here we are in the beautiful Wembley Stadium where once George Froch fought in front of 80,000 people, in case you didn't know. I wanted to know. Any chance of a little upset here, Ben? Or are you with our Ukrainian warrior, Mr. Usyk, who seems to be the most thoughtful heavyweight champion, as Elliot Wursel put it on Uncrowned this weekend, that we've had in quite some time?
That's a great piece, by the way.
Really good.
Yeah, it is a great piece. I really enjoyed that one by Elliot. There's nothing I've seen that can really get me to pick against Usyk at this point. But it is that you can feel that potential there. You know, you can feel that possibility in the air a little bit. It's also just that, like, anybody, you stay too long at the table and you're going to got eventually, especially though he seems like somebody where I feel like the more you have to stand there in front of him, the more opportunity he has to fight you and study you and find out what you're like, the worse your chances get. I think you have a better shot at that guy early on in the first fight than you do at any point in the second fight. It's just because I think that he is so good at sort of finding weaknesses, figuring out people's timing and their range, and operating off of that, that the more looks you give him, the better he's going to get.
Yeah, he's shown that, especially in the last 3 fights, man, against guys who, you know, including Dubois. But like, what I keep thinking, man, when you ask if there's a potential, I feel like Dubois, like when he came into that situation against Anthony Joshua, it just felt like it was another coronation, right? Like, well, Anthony Joshua, now here he is in his moment, 90,000 people. But there was something about just that calm. I pointed this out in the roundtable. We were writing about this, and just his demeanor of just like, this isn't too big for me at all. He had complete poise in that fight, and when he started kind of landing and hurting Joshua, and it felt like he was going downhill at that point, that stays with you. You know, you think like, well, maybe he can get this going. But I'm ultimately with Ben. I just think that, you know, when you watch Usyk fight, even though at 38, you think that he would start to kind of diminish, and you're never sure when that might occur. But I think that his ability to solve you in ring is what makes him different. Just his ability to adapt, see what you're doing, and then to start to do something else that you have no counter for. So I think that in the end, he's going to be too much for Dubois.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Like, I mean, gun to my head, I'm definitely picking Usyk, but I've been very impressed with Dubois. Like, I know Jarrell Miller is not a brilliant boxer by any stretch, but he's a 300-odd pound man, and to stop him is an accomplishment, man. He's usually just coming forward, and he got the job done against him, right? Like, very late a while back there. He had Hergovic win, and as you said, the Joshua fight, I'll always remember that one because Elaine is a massive Anthony Joshua fan, and it's not a lot about his boxing. Elaine's a big fan of Anthony Joshua.
At least you're being honest.
Yeah. You know, yeah, she has a type, I know. But we were watching the Joshua fight in the Amalfi Coast, I remember, and we're beside this swimming pool, and the signal is coming in and out as it's happening, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't really see much. No, he's down, and then it started again. Oh no, he's down again. This is terrible.
Oh my God.
He's just finished. And Elaine's like, no, not my beautiful Anthony. But really,
she likes the little earpiece he got in all the time.
Yeah, the one fucking Apple thing. Yeah. But I do, like, even reading Elliot's article today, I was like, it is a great clash of mentalities, a great clash of style. Like, Usyk seems to be this effortless charmer nearly. I don't think we understood it for like, when I think he was cruiserweight and he kind of came up to heavyweight first. We didn't quite understand the charm, but the I am feel thing,
I am
all
feel.
of this, it's he kind of sucks you in, his character. Like he's an incredible guy, the rabbit, as Tyson Fury used to call him. And of course the Fury fights have made him infamous now. The struggling Ukraine, his alignment with them, it's been a tremendous story, honestly. But he describes brilliantly how I feel, never mind how Dubois feels, before he gets on the mic. Like him and Joe Joyce have this unique thing where before they talk, everyone's like, "Oh man, fuck, please don't fuck this up,
I know.
Daniel. Come on, get us involved, dude." And Elliot did a great job of figuring that out. But I mean, sorry, putting it down on paper, but it's a really good fight. It's the undisputed heavyweight
And
title.
Dubois reminds me a little bit of Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes back in the
Oh.
day was like, of all of the the golden era in the 70s and into the 80s, he wasn't going to wow you on the microphone or anything like that. But he would go in there and sometimes lay these destruction, with his jab that he had and all this stuff. But he would do this stuff and you're like, oh my God, this guy's good. So sometimes the action, you know what I mean? The action itself would override. Back then, especially, you didn't need to be a talker, right? Like you could just show up. I feel like Dubois is kind of like that. But that piece that you're pointing out is really brilliant. You should go read it because it really gets into that. How Dubois, while the guy's in front of him, even if the guy's striking his head up, he's in control of that situation, whereas he doesn't have the same control when he's facing regular people and having a conversation or trying to be on the microphone. So it's a very good piece to check out and get a glimpse of his mindset.
The point about Larry Holmes you made is that there's a point at which that becomes a strength because those people do not have the ability to just sort of bullshit you. And I will always remember reading one of my favorite boxing stories that was about the fight between Larry Holmes and Butterbean, which I believe is Larry Holmes's last pro fight. And it was, it's a gimmick fight to begin with. It's like Larry Holmes and Butterbean at like a casino in Mississippi or something. And at one point, Larry Holmes was trying to do the thing that he's expected to do, where it's like, well, I don't know, this is a tough opponent. People don't realize how tough this guy is. It's going to be a good fight. Make sure to tune in. And he was trying to do what he knew was expected of him. And then the writer describes him just sort of exasperated, finally kind of giving it up and being like, look, man, he can't fight. And I'm gonna beat his ass. And it was just like, okay, the trade-off there is somebody who is just like, he might not have a brilliant way with words, but that also means he does not have the ability to snow you. What you see is kind of what is there to see.
Man, who wrote that piece? I only remembered that piece when you broke into that final part where he kind of gave up the ghost. He's like, come on, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. I remember I've read it before in some anthology or something.
Yeah,
so
that's where I read it. I read it at the At the Fights anthology, which if anybody out there wants great boxing writing that just covers like from, Jack Johnson and James J. Jeffries up through, like Mike Tyson, is an excellent anthology full of great writing.
Speaking of great writing, I'll just plug it while I'm here. The great Donald McRae, his last book, The Final Bell, is out at the moment. He wrote Dark Trade, which is incredible. Like one of the great, like it should be in the pantheon of great boxing books, and there are many of them. Like I put it up there with The Fight, any of them. Honestly, brilliant. His last book, I'm halfway through. I was hoping I'd read. I kind of have a halfway read before I got to New York, and then I just didn't get a minute. Like I wanted to finish it and then go to the Katie fight. I just didn't get a minute. But boxing fans, boxing writing has been and is phenomenal. Look at Elliot Wursel. We were just speaking about him. Go and check that out if you do get a chance. I believe that's the article there we have up on the screen, right? Yeah, what a guy, man. This guy is absolutely brilliant. In fact, Elliot Wursel has he writes one of the endorsements on the cover of this book that I'm talking about, The Final Bell.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it's absolutely brilliant. So
he's a mysterious figure out there in England. You know what I mean? Like, I like it.
I wish I was as cool as Elliot, man. Remember he was on that group call one day and I was like, I'm not brooding enough to be a good writer.
Just in a dark corner, you could just see his hair kind of.
He's watching this right now and he's still mad at you over your tea and crumpets remark. His hurtful stereotype. Yeah.
Fucking Irish prick. Lads, just before we leave this, Chuck, do you think there's any chance that this could be the last we see of Usyk? We see all these heavyweights coming up, these young guys coming up, Toma, all these guys that everyone's getting very excited about. Do you feel like this could be the end point? Dubois kind of hinted at it. Last month I heard him talking like he's separated from his promoter. This is usually a sign that things are closing down for a fighter. What do you think?
For you, Usyk, I mean, he's 38. And there's always a part of me that's like, you probably should, man. If you can get out of it clean, that's the hardest thing to do in the fight game, is just to be undefeated and leave it on the top. But you mentioned Parker. I mean, there's still a fight out there that would make money. So I guess I'd be surprised if that doesn't happen. But if he did it, and it would be like almost like, if John Jones was more sincere and genuine in like how he approaches it. If he had just said after he won the Miocic fight, you know what, guys, I've done everything I can do, I'm out, I would have respected that. It was just the way he drug it out. But I think if Usyk is basically making that same thing, if he says I'm done, I would respect that. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't blame him at all. He's made plenty of money too. It's not like at some point you're like, what's the trade-off?
What you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, you also have to sit around there and go like, it's not like there's a lot of stuff that he has left undone. There's not a lot of stones left unturned there in that guy's career. And so, yeah, you get to that point, you've been at the top for so long, you definitely don't owe it to anybody to stick around until you get knocked out, until something bad happens to you, which if you stick around long enough, eventually it will happen. That's an inevitability, So I wouldn't be surprised totally to see him do it. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him think he's going to do it and then maybe change his mind later, because as we talked about earlier in the show, that's just part of the fight game too.
Yeah, what a weird shakeup, just by the way. If Dubois does win, what a shakeup that is, because I think that not many people are actually contemplating like, what does it look like if he wins? That'd be very interesting too.
Yeah. I hope you guys saw the ESPYs, by the way, because a certain man came out of retirement. I know we don't have it on the list, and I don't want to get into it because people get very upset.
White House speaks to him, man.
Yeah,
it's the John Jones whisperer of that White House.
Can I just say there was a moment
done.
like
I'm not doing it anymore.
All right. I just want to make one comment. The part where they're like, the ESPN people on the red carpet clearly don't have a fuck about MMA. They don't fucking have a clue. And they're like, so why are you coming back, John? Like, as if like this has been years.
I know.
As far as they're concerned, if someone feeds me this in the ear, like they're going.
And John just eats it up. It's like,
and he's just like, the body's not feeling like it used to. You're like, 4 weeks, dude. 4 weeks ago, you said you were in camp. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Sorry.
He just says stuff.
He's a funny mate. In terms of humor, like if you were watching that and you were one of his mates and he's like, I'm gonna fucking tell them that I'm out of retirement.
I like how he thinks that the rest of like the MMA world or the combat world just won't listen to this or something. I don't know what he's thinking, but he's just gonna tell them something else.
But I'm saying, if he was your mate and you knew he was retiring, but he's like, I have to go to the SBs and I might, like, I'm presenting an award, I might be like, I'm fucking out of retirement, just watch them just fucking lose their minds. It'll be pretty funny. I'm not John Jones's friend, by the way. I do not know.
You are his friend.
Well, I wish. Of course, he's the coolest guy, as we all know. PFL Africa won. Ben can't wait for it. Chuck can't wait for it. Look at those fucking faces. Look at those two.
Baby.
Look, they are. Look how animated these guys have become. That's right. The PFL got there before the UFC. Yeah. PFL.
Yeah. It was a race. Make no mistake. It was a race.
It was a massive race. And it reminded me of the time that Bellator went to Paris before the UFC, and the UFC had said like, we're gonna fucking do it. Bellator did it before them, and I wrote an article for the BBC about it. Like, the UFC had said they wanted to be the first to break ground there. Like, this was always a goal. The UFC PR team went fucking insane. They were like, we weren't trying to go there. Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you saying? I was like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you've said you want to do an event in Paris. They did it before you. I'm wondering, Chuck, does it? Oh my God! What are you gonna do? The European office are crazy. I'm only joking. They're lovely.
I love it when the publicists come at you. But anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, is this a case? I think I know the answer. Is this a case of the PFL getting there before the UFC, or is it simply that the UFC haven't been given the bag by South Africa to come and do the?
Well, event? I will say that Dana has been asked and talking about this for years. I mean, it goes back to a Mike Straka thing, which is like, I don't know when the last time you even thought of Mike Straka, but like he was at an event and he asked him about South Africa. He's like, yeah, we do have plans to go there next year. And that had to have been 10 years ago. Like it was like something like that, like a long time ago. So there's got to be a little bit of that. But, I looked at Don Davis's, his tweet today, and he's like, they in capital couldn't get here, but we're here. So they're looking at it that way. And it's not a bad
What
play.
PFL are looking at that way? That's crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, these things they're always so strange. Like the UFC is, they're showing up, like they have one in Qatar, right? Like coming up, like they've got like they're going other places. It's not like I'm sure they could put on an event there. I don't know why they haven't. And maybe the money's not like they tend to get paid where they're going these days. Like maybe the money's not right, but I don't think the UFC's too worried about it. Let's put it that way. I doubt that they really saw it the way that PFL is trying to.
Well, PFL is trying to frame it that way because that's what you kind of got to do if you're in PFL situation. It's like that thing about, that lawyers say that if the law's on your side, you bang the law, and if none of it's on your side, you bang the table and you shout and yell a bunch. That's kind of what they're doing here. Is that similarly like the same way where I saw them making a big deal about their newly redesigned championship belt that we're doing. It's like,
what? Wow. Hang on. Whoa. Well, I did not know about that. Tell me, Ben.
Without exception,
it's meant to go with Western wear, Pete. It's going to go with like boots and things like that.
You wouldn't be interested. Anytime a promoter starts to tell you in great detail about the physical intricacies of the championship belt itself, it's a bad sign. And I say that as somebody who worked for a fight promotion that started to do that. Because it was just like, we can't tell you that this is necessarily a real title fight to determine the best fighter in this weight class in the entire world. No one's really going to believe it. So we got to say the belt's really fucking nice, you guys. Like you should see this belt, man. Like that, and that doesn't. Yeah, isn't that what one championship used to lean on at some point? Like how heavy, how physically heavy their belt was, compared heavier than all the other belts. And it's like, yeah, that's what fans want, man. But the African thing too is it's like the use of the word could is the defining feature there, because it's like, sure, the UFC could have gone to Africa a long time ago. They just didn't see it as a priority, and you can criticize them for that, especially since they had legitimate big fights they could have put on somewhere in Africa. Back when you had Francis Ngannou, you had Kamaru Usman at the top. You had fighters who had a connection to Africa that you could have really done something with, and they just did not see it as worth it. I think the PFL, sure, go ahead and make that point that like, hey, we're going new places. We're bringing this thing other places. We're helping like grow the sport. The UFC is not in the growth business that much anymore. They're in the pay us business. They're like, they are going places where the money is. They're not that concerned with like forcing open new markets or doing anything like that. At the same time, didn't PFL do the same? Like the PFL technically beat the UFC into New York, right? Like after New York opened, they were the first ones to actually hold an event there, and they sort of did the same thing there, where they're like, "Look, we got here first," and the UFC was like, "We have
their little flag. Here we are."
Yeah. And it's like the UFC has paid millions of dollars in lobbyists, and for years been trying to push this, and so it's like, sure, go ahead and make that claim, be like, we beat them here. I think it's of limited value in the long run, though.
I mean, the UFC even has a South African champion, and they're not going.
How do you think? There was this kind of situation where we're like, I don't think Dakota Tcheva is all too happy with the situation here. She was popping up, and she wasn't directly being like, "Yeah, this is fucking disgraceful. Like, where's my fight?" But you could read it if you just watched her talk, and you were like, "Yeah, she's pretty pissed off." How do you think has it all been resolved, Chuck, by giving her this massive spot against? You know she's fighting, right?
Oh, I was going to ask Ben. I think he had a piece on the opponent. What was her name?
It's too difficult. I don't want to talk about it.
It still conjures up too many memories.
Yeah. Miko Inaba, boys, is who Dakota Tcheva is fighting. She's 8-1. Huge fight.
I think that it's still there. I mean, how long ago was it that the Santos fight took place? Because that was the big moment. We were calling her at Uncrowned, one of the breakthrough fighters of the year, and it takes 7-8 months for her to return. That's too long, man.
November.
We stopped talking about her, and I felt like, and it's great that she's coming back, but now you're putting it into a weekend. You just showed a graphic where there's 6 different posters, so she becomes just a part of this crazy weekend.
Yes.
I'm sure that she's not thrilled with the situation, and I talked to her before her last fight, and she wasn't that thrilled about it then, but she was kind of mostly like mad at fan perception that she was fighting nobodies, and she was hoping that Taylor Santos would then change that, which I thought it did. She went right through her And I still think that she's got the potential, in all honesty, even if she's with PFL, if they could just put her in front of enough eyeballs and like give her the shine, she could be the biggest thing in women's MMA right now. I really think that she could, just given her pedigree, her mom being a kickboxer. She's 26. She's right in that wheelhouse of just like not even at her peak yet. I think that you just take all of that, and if she keeps going through people and finish them, she's got that kind of potential, man, in my mind.
Do you think she can be the biggest star in women's MMA while she's with the PFL, Ben? Like I think we've had this discussion about Kayla for a long time. Look, let's be honest. Like I've been saying this to everyone. This when they bring up the code this week, I've done the who's she fighting again, just to see.
I know, yes.
And not one person was like,
and you never do know. We can never have an answer for it.
It's an important part, right? Like, and also like, it's crazy to me that that she wasn't on Ariel's show this week. You know what I mean? Like a massive week. Like I'm like, why isn't she on there? Why isn't she front and center? Like
I tried to get her. I wanted to do a piece, but they didn't get back to me.
Like you have to fucking do it. Like they had Tad John on, and he's great. Like don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
he's
not
great.
fighting for many weeks. Like this was the week to push her out there, and I'm just like, how are you not doing the biggest show? Like a guy you have a rapport with, a guy who's put you over so many times in the past. It's crazy to me. Like, sorry, and I'll get back to the question, Ben. Do you think that Dakota Tejeva can be the biggest star in women's MMA while she's with the PFL?
Not while she's with the PFL, sadly. I mean, I don't. It kind of feels unfair to the PFL at a certain point to keep reinforcing that aspect of the dynamic, but it is the reality, and I think that you are kind of just going to temporarily try to keep her happy, try to hold on to her as long as you can, but it's kind of going to be the same situation that you dealt with Kayla Harrison at some point, because you're just, you got to have people for them to fight, and you also, that fighter is going to get to a point where they realize, like, I'm only going to rise so far as long as I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta, I'm sort of big fish in a small pond right now, and I got to get out there in the open ocean. And that feels like an inevitability almost, and it feels like you would almost be doing a disservice to her and her career if you didn't allow it to happen at some point.
Ben, you were at that Cincinnati card. It was like a Strike Force.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? I remember we were like, I know we went to some German restaurant and we were running around, but
this sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
We happened upon a dance party in a basement bar.
That's right.
For fuck, like the Canada story now. This is fucking really pissing me off now.
It was wild. It was a wild one, but that particular card, was that Ronda Rousey? I can never remember because I went to another one of hers too, and like that was that. Do you remember if that was it was Ronda Rousey on that card? But it was around that time.
So. It was because it was the Strike Force Grand Prix.
Yeah,
but it was also the Strike Force Grand Prix. It was the heavyweight Grand Prix, but the sale had already happened, and so it was just like, what's going to happen now that the UFC parent company also owns Strike Force? Because I remember one of the things that I did while we were in Cincinnati that time is I hung out with Josh Barnett, who had sort of a questionable history with the UFC and with Dana White in particular. Yeah. Dana White had said some bad things about him, and I remember it was raining and cold, and when I went out with him shopping for a jacket, he decided to buy a jacket, and we went on just a wild misadventure while he attempted to buy a jacket, and Eric Paulson was just very Eric Paulson about it. And
two savages, dude. Barnett and Paulson, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you should have seen it. The story is still out there. It was for MMA Fighting if anybody wants to go and look it up. And I think it's called like Josh Barnett goes on a quest for a jacket or something.
I remember this.
But I remember we walked into like sort of a nice menswear section of a department store, and Josh Barnett is wearing a shirt, like a heavy metal shirt with a drawing of the crucifixion on it. And Eric Paulson is just going up and spraying cologne samples all up and down his arm and then asking me to smell them all and see which one I liked best. And the guy who came up as the salesman, he was wearing a tuxedo. He's a salesman at this menswear department, so he's wearing a tuxedo. And he looked at the three of us, and you could tell on his face where he was just like, first of all, I don't get paid enough for this shit. Second of all, you guys must be in the wrong place. And then Josh and him started talking about men's fashions, and it was just like you could tell they each found a friend, a soulmate in this world.
That's funny, man.
But I remember us sitting down at dinner and me being like, so what's going to happen with this? Are you going to get absorbed into the UFC? Yeah. Are you going to be kind of frozen out now that's under new ownership? And Josh Barnett said another thing that I've always thought about since then, where he was like, what you're talking about right now is the business of fighting. just get really bored with the business of fighting. I got in this because I like the sport of fighting, and the sport of fighting has nothing to do with the business of fighting. And so it's like the business side, it's not a lot I can control. It's going to be what it's going to be, but I came here to beat Sergey Karatanov's ass, and that was pretty much it.
Come here. What kind of jacket did he get, and was it in fact leather? Because I feel throughout this I've been picturing a leather jacket on
No, I think it was like a really nice, like kind of like pea coat sort of situation.
Oh.
Like it was quite, because he was also like, the guy was trying to steer us toward, because he was basically just being like, should you guys be at Hot Topic? Is that like, should you guys be somewhere else in this mall? And just at some point was just straight up told me, he's like, no, I came in here for a reason. Like, I'm going to buy a jacket, and I also need it to work for like here in the weather, but then I'm going to go to Fashion Week in New York here pretty soon. And so I want to be able to take it to that. And that's when the guy started to be like, okay, this dude is legit. Let's talk about it. And the funniest part to me was that it was kind of an expensive jacket, but I don't remember exactly how much it cost. But Eric Paulson, every single time he would bring it up, the price of the jacket would go up. And so it was just a point where he would just be like, I can't believe Josh Barnett came here and bought a $300 jacket. And then the next time he'd bring it up, the jacket was $650, to the point where it's like we're sitting down to dinner at the end of the day, and he's just like, well, make sure you take care of your $5,000 coat over there. You know, like
that is just him, you know.
The whole experience, very memorable.
You know what? But listen to this card. I mean, real quick. Like, listen, Josh Barnett beat Karatanov. Daniel Cormier beat Bigfoot Silva.
Yeah.
Luke Rockhold beat Jacare. Muhammad Lal beat Roger Gracie. Like, you go down to the earlier fight. Joel Romero lost on the prelims. You had Alexa Davis beating Amanda Nunes.
Holy shit.
That's an insane card. But the reason I brought that up is because Ronda Rousey at that time, I remember having this discussion out there at some point, like with that she was a big fish in a small pond, and you were wondering how this was all going to translate. And I hate the comparison because there was no women's MMA. There was no women MMA in the UFC, but I do get a little bit of the Decheva thing going over, like where there might be this resurrection of it, you know, like where they're like, okay, now there's big eyeballs, now there's big interest on this again.
Yes, and look, Johnny Eblen's on the card. He is defending his title against Koslov and Stenis. It's a decent card. You have AJ McKee on there as well. I will be watching. I'm wondering, boys, will you tune in? Will you be watching this? And Ben always loves this question when I ask him, is he going to be watching the PFL event?
I am going on an annual camping trip, so I will be out there beside a river in the forests of Montana with my good friend Chad Dundas and a lot of other people. So that's my excuse.
Yeah, he bringing his drum kit. I can't believe that kid plays the drums like he does.
Yo, we were talking about Chad Dundas during the week because Casey Lydon was here, and he was like, he goes, I was like, isn't it crazy? Chad's in a hardcore band. I only realized this when Ben shared it.
I know, me too. I didn't know that.
And I was like, man, that's insane. He's so fucking cool. And he was like, yeah. And he was in like he was like one of the great hardcore bands that Casey followed like years and years ago.
He
was like, yes. He was like, he was in this band. And I was like, man, he's so fucking cool. It pisses me off.
Writes
you
novels.
do as well, Ben. And you do as well, Chuck. I fucking tell you this. Stop with your fucking cool hobbies. You fucking annoying pricks. Okay? Let's move on. Manny Pacquiao. Manny is Pacquiao.
Thank you for not letting me answer the question, by the way. Go ahead with Pacquiao.
Sorry.
No. I didn't want to answer it. I'm just saying. I shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, Chuck. Please.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll
have to tune in. I'll have to tune in. You know.
That's why we're doing the post-fight show.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got to talk about it. So I guess I have to.
I'm sorry, Chuck. That was rude of me. But so you're just ruling yourself out of the post-fight show, Ben. It's just not going to happen. Is that what you're saying?
I'm a maybe. I'm a maybe for the post-fight show. We'll see.
But if you're on the post-fight show, you're going to have to watch PFL. Like, this is the deal.
You guys can describe it to me.
Yeah. Ben, you should have seen it. It was crazy.
See? It'll add in a level of drama.
Yeah.
Yes. I quite liked the headline I put on this section in your notes today. I don't know if you saw it. It says, Manny is Pacquiao.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you enjoy that? No,
that was good. Yeah, I got a little chuckle out of that.
Ben didn't laugh at it. He went.
He's a tough audience.
Low-hanging fruit.
He put it in parentheses. It was like dressed it up.
I really wanted just to see that and enjoy that one. He's 46 and it feels weird is the subheading on that section. Go ahead, Ben. How do you feel about it?
It does feel weird, especially when I saw like Josh Gross had a story, maybe for the OC Register, I think, like talking about how Freddie Roach wasn't really included. As Freddie Roach found out when everybody else found out, like, oh,
Wow.
okay, we're doing this, but you know, the like has been sort of an underlying theme on this episode. This is how the fight game is. You can think that you're done all you want. You can tell us you're done. We can even believe you that you're done, but we won't know for sure until we can put that date of death on the tombstone and know, all right, he's really done. Like you never do know.
I mean, 46 years old, man. I think the last time was what, 2021 that he was in there. And he didn't look particularly good that time. I don't know. It's what it was. We always talk about watching through your fingers. I feel like that's kind of maybe we're at that situation. 46 years old. I don't want to see it, to be honest.
But especially a fighter like where when you are relying on, people missing their punches by millimeters on you, when that is part of your style, that's one of those things that will start to degrade over time. We've seen that a lot. Like we watched it happen with Anderson Silva, really, where it was just like he was playing that game, and when you slow down even just a little bit, it doesn't work anymore. And also, as a fella who is close in age to Manny Pacquiao himself, the older you get, the worse it is for you to keep getting hit in your head, man. Your brain just does not bounce back from that stuff the same. It does not feel the same for you, and you start taking some hits at that age, and the odds that you will take more hits go up as the rest of your skills decline. I wouldn't mess with it, but then that's me sitting here as a guy who never was a professional boxer.
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying. You need to stop getting in fist fights down your local bar, Ben. It's not cool at this age.
Well,
all
if
right?
people would stop looking at me weird, then we wouldn't have a problem.
He's fighting a 30-year-old man who can box like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Mario Barrios. It's going to be good. And look, the chief support, as Ariel would say, is a great fight. A rematch between Fundora and Tim Tszyu. That's a great fight as well. It's going to be a good card. I'm trying to, as I'm going through this, I'm like, how many fucking screens am I going to have on the go here? Like sometimes, do you ever try and do that? Honestly, like you'll have three screens going, and you end up watching no fights. Like you have them all on. You're just like,
that's true.
It's
like
crazy.
the old NFL thing. Like if you've got three quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Like you have none.
Yeah,
it's kind of that same. Yeah, you're not able to process. It's crazy because there's just too much. If you're in a Vegas sports book and you're trying to watch a football game, and then you just get distracted by a million of them, you feel like you never watched the game you intended.
Yeah, it's a wild situation, dude. Right, what else do we got here? Yeah, we also have the Bam Rodriguez fight. He's one of Ariel's favorites. He thinks he's one of the great upcoming fighters in the sport. And KSW 108. Chuck's not going to be able to watch this KSW one. He's absolutely sick about it. And look, maybe we won't get to it on our post-fight show on Saturday night. You guys know that, of course, our beautiful friends Georgia Connor and New York Rick and the beautiful mysterious Frank and On Air Jordan will be doing their watch along on Saturday. God bless them as well. Like as if they're watching the main event, they're watching the main card of the UFC while all this other shit is going on as well. That is going to be, I assume, right? Because the PFL event, I think the main events will be kind of on that as the. Maybe I'm wrong. As the main card is kicking off there, so that could be a real pain in the hole for them. Best of luck to the boys, and then afterwards, will be me and Chuck and potentially Ben. We're not nailing him down. It is potentially Ben, and if Ben is there, we'll have to explain to him what happened to PFL, which I'm very happy to do because he's a lovely lad, and as long as he hasn't gotten a fist fight that night down the local, everything.
No guarantees there either.
That's all we've got for you this week. And speaking of,
there it is.
There it is.
I don't believe.
Now it feels like a Friday.
Oh my God.
Really thought we were getting out of there. Here we go. Hello, guys from Sweden. Great show. Happy birthday, Petesy. Thank you, Sammy. Prediction for 3 of the weekend fights. Dustin Poirier win. Daniel Dubois win. I like it. Bold. And Jesse Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah. I'm with him on that.
I mean, the Dubois one's a long shot there, Sammy. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a punt, as we say. But if you're feeling it, fucking throw a few quid on it. You know what I mean? Make sure it's nice and worthwhile.
Don't encourage that. Don't
few
encourage
hundred
people.
quid, man. What's a few hundred
Yeah,
quid
no,
between men? You know what I mean?
Put your mortgage on it. It's a
Put a fucking
guarantee.
grand on it. Fuck it. If you feel it, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Whoa. Whew. Oh, sorry. One more. Bougie Alpaca. Did you
Nice.
guys see Brendan Schaub's monologue about Dana? Surprised to
course.
say he was spitting. I mean,
Of course, he name drops. Come on.
was it about Dana or was it about Chuck and I and Ariel and all the great journalists? Ben, you didn't get it. It was fucking.
They didn't
he
make
did
the
not
cut
say
on
your
that
name.
I didn't know this even happened.
Listen,
What did he say?
Brandon Schaub was like, well, I wish Dana would
He
do
was-
some real interviews
yeah.
with some real journalists. Like
He was
Petesy
pissed
Carroll.
about the Nelk boys. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he's,
all.
he's spitting, and he has a new haircut. And you know what?
Yeah.
I fucking like him. I really like Brendan Schaub.
Yeah,
now.
he's a good. I
he's-
think he's a voice of the times right now, and I like that. You know,
he's got his finger on the
voice of
pulse on-
reason.
Yeah, I mean, he knows who the best journalists are. So I mean,
Yep.
what else do you need, right? Sorry, Ben.
Oh,
another
look.
one. Colby, who's a better MMA wingman than Chael PP, Sonnen?
You know what? I appreciate about Chael Sonnen, especially at this phase of his career. He knows what he's here to do.
Yeah.
He's here to be a guy who feeds the take machine. He's here to come out here, like whatever happens. He's successfully done it. He's successfully conditioned people to where like something controversial, something interesting, something just plain weird and stupid happens in MMA, and you know Chael's going to have a take. He's probably going to have several. He's going to churn out like 6 90-second YouTube videos about it, and he also does a good job of the thing I used to talk to when I was a graduate student teaching introductory rhetoric writing at the University of Montana. If you're going to write a persuasive essay and you want it to be interesting, you got to pick a thesis statement that people could potentially disagree with. And so you can always see Chael doing it. He's not just going to come out here and take the obvious position and try to argue that, because no one cares. They're like, okay, I thought you were right before I heard your argument. He's going to take a position where you're going to be like, what the hell is this guy saying now? How can he possibly adopt this position? Because now you're interested to hear what his argument is. And so that's why when Conor McGregor is seen all in his full glory, Chael Sonnen is going to be like, I should come out here and talk about how I can't stop staring at it. And he knows what he's doing. And I appreciate that. I respect it.
Yeah, Ireland was pretty locked into the cock weight as well.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, I wonder if sales have gone up.
Could be.
But yeah, interesting situation there. Any other soupity doopities? Yeah, here we go. Oh, it's Ant Evans, the great one. Someone asked folks if he painted art on his walls. That's a weird way of saying that. I'm not going to lie to you, Ant. Go away.
Yeah, it is a weird way to say. Does he mean if I painted this?
Put that back
particular
up. Put that back up.
Painted
This
the
man's
walls.
a wordsmith. Put this back up. I need to see that
Yeah.
again. Can we see that? Someone asked folks if he painted art on his walls. Come on, and you're a literal fucking writer. You wrote an amazing piece just weeks ago. Like, I mean, what the fuck?
I think he means the art. I think.
This one here, this Hogan Warrior WrestleMania 6 one is by a guy named Sam Evans in Australia, and you can look him up on the internet. He has
Any
lots
relation of
great-
Ants?
You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's trying to
That's
get
why
us
he's
to talk
asking.
about it.
He's trying to plug him.
He's trying to give an assist here to this guy. He's lucky that I had the name right on the tip of my tongue. But I actually have 2 paintings. This guy does great paintings that are sort of just like good stylistic takes on like I don't know, scenes you were familiar with in one way or another. I have this one from WrestleMania 6, and then up in my kitchen I have a scene from Goodfellas of Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta sitting at the diner,
Yeah.
talking through their troubles. And so yeah, I highly recommend the guy. Reasonably priced and good stylistic art. This other one is a sumo wrestling one, and yeah, let's say I painted that. Sure,
Beautiful.
Prove me
Well
wrong.
done.
Yeah.
What
He
show?
appeared
You
on a
were
serious. appeared on a very serious CBS show,
I was about to
politics
say
show.
this.
With the so he had he had his paintings front and center there, didn't he?
yes.
Is that like as you're on the show? Are you like looking at the image or getting back and you're saying, "I wonder how many people are clocking we've got the Warrior behind me right now."
You know, I was happy to do my part to get that out in front of the audience. I appreciate it when you're on any sort of like more general discussion. This was like mainly a politics show, and so they wanted to talk about the UFC White House thing, and you can tell when you're there. Even the host of the show is like, "Why am I talking to this guy?" I love it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Brendan Schaub might not have you up there, but you're my favorite.
He
So
knows
you,
who
Chuck,
I
my
am. Brendan
guys.
Schaub
Yeah.
and I know we go way back, and that's why he intentionally left me out. I'm sure. My feelings aren't hurt at all, Brendan. It's fine.
Well, they're two of the greats, and it's a pleasure as always. Who knows? We might get both of the legends on the post show. We are about to head off. I believe there is no other segments of the show that I forget every week. I'm hoping that's true. Now, listen, we've got a special video for you here before I sign off. First of all, the great on-air Jordan is the man who edited this. Thank you so much to camera guy Nick for shooting it. It took place over the course, I'd say, of about 6 hours in New York City last Saturday. I was there. The great Connor Burks was there. New York Rick was there. And some of my friends joined us. Emer and Eric joined us. Ashling, Mairead, all of my wonderful friends in New York. And we had ourselves a few drinks. And we tried to figure out what is, in fact, the best pint of Guinness in New York City. We're going to leave you with this one. We love you very much. Remember to watch the boys on the watch along, and then watch me and Chuck, and possibly Ben, on the post-fight show. We love you very much. Get a load of this guy. The Uncrowned team have ruined me over 7 days in New York City. I'm tired. I'm irritable. Katie Taylor just beat Amanda Serrano for the third time, but yet here I am today, my final day in the city, and I'm going to find the best goddamn Guinness in this whole place. We're starting here in the Dead Rabbit. Frank and GC brought me before, and I thought it was fantastic. So this is what our opening gambit is going to be. We're going to go to Brooklyn. We're going to go uptown again. We have a lot of things to be doing. The only problem is, everyone else just took a sick day. I don't know where. Whoa, GC, what's the story?
What's the crack?
How are you? Sorry, on the broadcast there a few times last night. Hey, you come here.
Get an original.
What the hell?
No big deal.
What the hell? Where are you going?
Oh, Rick, there it is, man. Seeing you here,
stepping all over my shoes. What a dickhead. I mean, all right. We're gonna have some Guinness. We're gonna see the sights. And listen, if I get belligerent, I hope camera guy Nick edits it all out. Thank you very much. Let's go.
Already had a few. They have custom glasses that they painted themselves. Petey's too afraid to go to the G. He wants to do the bottom.
I'm gonna go to the fucking G.
All right, we're gonna try and split the G now. You go first. Take the honors. Kick us off with a bang. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Petesy, not bad. I stand no chance. Here we go.
That's ready for a
Come on. Thank you. Those are rookie numbers. Oh, he's going for it. Let's go, GC. Oh, so close.
Not bad.
So
not
close.
Bad. Better than I expected to be. To the point. That's nice.
We have special friends today. The All-Ireland final is on, but All-Ireland semi-final, I should say. Emer from Blanchardstown grew up on the same road as me, Ashfield Grove, and her lovely husband, a Kiwi from New Zealand.
Australian.
Oh, wow.
That is offensive.
Oh, you lived in New
Here's Petesy
Zealand.
Carroll, the Brit from UK. Alright, what the fuck are we watching here, dude?
This is the All-Ireland football semi-final.
This is only the semi-final. This
Yes.
isn't even the championship.
So they're playing in Craic Park. There's 85,000 people there.
85,000. And they use this soccer ball and they run around and they dribble and they kick and they throw. Yeah, it's like a mixture of rugby, soccer, and American football.
Yes.
And this is only played in Ireland?
There's a team in New York. There's a team in London.
Oh, no fucking shit.
They play in the All-Ireland, yeah. Honest to God. I'll get you a game if you want.
Yeah,
Once I see how well this jersey fits you, they'll be like, yes.
They'll say they gotta send me one.
I don't think we're going to find anywhere better than this.
Alright.
Let's just
Taste,
stay here.
pour,
At
everything.
8 points. The glass.
Alright, on a scale of 1 to 10 shamrocks, that'll be the scale for today. And don't be afraid to use decimals.
I'm going 9 shamrocks for this. Just to leave the possibility out there that someone could hit 10.
It's an absolutely beautiful pint.
It's a great pub.
Also, just the pub itself is just absolutely to die for. I love this place.
Even like Emer and Eric come here all the time. Like they were like, oh, Dead Rabbit, of course.
Alright, 1 Guinness down, 8 Killian's Irish Reds to go. Pete, you're right in the middle. We're off to spot number 2.
Yeah. That was good. I could have stayed there all day.
That's the dangerous part.
We're about to go to Hartley's. It's a very small looking establishment. The window looks like it needs to be replaced, but these two guys told us it's really nice. So let's go. The best pint, they said, huh?
The beers from last night are wearing on me a little bit right now. I need a water, another Guinness, stat, hair of the dog.
We're now at Hartley's. As you can see, Eric and Emer have very much gave us a big endorsement on this one. GC said he checked the rate and said it was very good. Broken window, can we sort that out, Hartley's? Come on. I mean,
actually
Jesus.
saw this as the #1 place, but it was 2 out of the way. But then Eric gave us such a solid recommendation, we had to come.
Here, say what Irish people say before they're having a point.
Oh, Slanter.
Presentation-wise, these ones in Hartley's looking very, very good. Very good. I mean, ooh,
Look at the cream.
look at that.
Look at the cream.
We've decided we're going to try and split the H.
Split the H.
The H. So as you can see, we're changing the goalposts constantly on ourselves here. But this is dare to be great, dare to dream. We're going to go for it?
Can you match what you just did at the Dead Rabbit? Split the H right through the middle.
All right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go.
My uncle's cousin's nephew has a dentist. So that's
Oh my goodness gracious. I think you got it right on the money.
Boom.
Right down the middle? You fucking motherfucker. That is perfect. That's perfect. That is picture worthy. There's no chance I get that. This is a true skill.
Gosh, here we go.
You can go 5 for 5. Here we go.
Too far.
Oh, not far enough. You scared me out of it, son of a bitch.
That is actually.
Oh, I got carried away. It's too good. I couldn't stop myself.
Emer.
That's very good.
Blanche,
Very
baby.
good. Very good.
Yes.
Represent.
Yes.
Blanche.
So I'll see you in 45,
I like
all
the
right?
pints too much.
Very aggressive. Listen, it was probably Steve's fault. More I think about it. There it is. They were, look, really good. Like, really, I thought they were really good.
Okay, so like at this point, at this level of pint, it's now to the point where I don't know enough ball to where I can decipher what makes it amazing. I know this is a really good pint. I can recognize a bad one, but like between this and the Dead Rabbit, it almost just comes down to atmosphere for me.
Yeah, it's coming down to little increments here. That was absolutely fantastic. The Dead Rabbit is the best point I've had.
And you gave that 9 shamrocks.
9 shamrocks.
Remember, you can do decimals. You can do decimals.
I'm going to give this 8.5 shamrocks because it's right up there.
8.5.
Maybe on a different day, it's a 9.5. It's perfect.
This isn't a fantastic pint, but man, we'll see for the rest of the places.
We'll talk about the glass as well. It's a perfect glass.
Unmatched atmosphere at the Dead Rabbit.
Absolutely. But fantastic here as well. All very good so far.
Split the H, baby.
The H.
All right. 2 more glasses of water, 2 more pints, and I'll be on my way. The Guinness has finally caught up to the headaches.
Yeah, so here we are at the corner. They have spice bags in here. We are 2 points deep, with 2 out of 2. It's pretty impressive. Not all unexpected. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. So this is a real glass here we're dealing with. While everyone talks about it in the background, this is real life exciting for me. We have a real splitting of the G. We have a real spice bag here. Can we get a look at the spice bag?
Okay. Yeah.
Look at that. That is a thing of beauty right here. This is very exciting to the point where the energy I have going through my body right now, I can't even fucking describe.
I'm so excited. No! I don't even get the first bite of my own.
Fuck you.
Fuck. Now, would you recommend? I would, if it was me, I would pour the sauce all over it.
That is incredible.
You're a dipper though. Is that the move?
I'm a dipper.
I'm a pourer.
You can do whatever you want.
YOLO. Yeah.
I have to say, I fucking adore curry.
That's unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
That is unbelievable.
I adore curry. That is so
They have the real Guinness glasses. They have a legit spice bag. This is crazy.
Honored.
This is crazy. That was the best. That was one of the best spice bags I've had anywhere. Like that's as good as anything. That's actually nicer than the ones you get now.
Really good white meat chicken. I can't wait to taste these fries.
The sauce is unreal, right?
This is a winner. Spice bag for the fucking win.
The first time I have a real Guinness glass, I won't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had to have overshot. Yeah. Piss poor.
Winner learn.
We'll bounce back at Iona.
You're gonna do it, Eric. I believe in you. GC, don't listen to me this time. I fucked you last time.
Tuning out everyone. Oh, that's not bad. A little bit long.
Same as me, yeah.
All right, here we go.
I mean, yeah, bottom of the G. Overshot it.
Oh!
Overshot who, Rick? Overshot who, Rick?
Yes! Come on, GC. So that's every pub we split a G in. Every pub.
One of us get it in each one. Here we go, the digital camera selfie.
Thirsty boy.
Brother's thirsty after that fucking curry pack.
So spice bag, unbelievable, right?
A++++.
And I can say it's the nicest spice bag I've ever had in anywhere in the world. It's that good. Unfortunately, the pint is not. It's not up there with Hartley's. It's not up there with the Dead Rabbit. It's a 7.5 for me. Look, a fantastic place. They're playing DC Fontaines. They got the Irish rugby game on. A really weird one as well. Like, who the fuck is watching Portugal v Ireland? Incredible. But good place.
They brought us a free Jameson shot.
Oh, cool. Who is gonna have that?
You.
Not me. Not fucking me. No.
Little New York tidbit. So this is the Clonard. Down the road here is another bar, the Bushwick Yacht Social Club or Country Club. Bushwick Country Club is the inventor of the pickleback shot. Apparently where it started. So if we would pop back here, we might get a pickleback at the end. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Show me your tattoo. Show me your tattoo. Fourth place. It's called Iona. We've had 3 splits and 3 pubs. Rick there. Look, post spice bag. Look at him there. Look at him there. Show him. Show him there. His heart is glowing. We're going in for number 4 now. Don't know what the G is going to be like here. It's going to be hard to fuck with Dead Rabbit. It's going to be hard to fuck with Hartley's. They are top of the pile at the moment. Our friends who are meant to meet us at 12 here. Look at them all jumping up and down in there.
Okay, fair play though. The bartender at Hartley's told me that Iona is actually the best.
Ooh! We're here in Iona now. This is the 4th one. It's got a fabulous personalized glass.
Only
again.
4? These are fucking beautiful pints, I have to say. This is beautiful. All right, split in the end. Way too far.
Way too far.
Way too far. What a fucking shit attempt that was.
Win or learn. Great point, though.
Rick.
Great point.
Fantastic pint. These are absolutely beautiful. Also, this outdoor garden is fantastic.
It's very hot,
Rick,
though, isn't
save us, bro. Save us,
Come
bro.
on,
We
man.
need to keep
Come
the
on.
record.
Come on, New York. Rick. Come on.
Way too far.
Every
Jesus,
time.
Rick.
Every fucking time it's too far with you.
All
Do you
right,
know?
we fucked up. Oh, is that a split G over there from Big Nick?
Oh, so that's 4 out of 4. Every.
All right, we'll count that. 4 out of 4. All right, how many shamrocks? We did what? 9 at the first, 8.5, 7 at the third. What is
All right,
this one?
This is up there
got a
with
1
the
to 10
9s.
shamrock.
This is up there with the 9s and the 8.5s of the world. I'm gonna put it right there with Hartley's. It's an 8.5.
I'm
too.
gonna say Iona, Hartley's, Dead Rabbit. You cannot go wrong with.
Interchangeable. If anyone was saying to you like pound for pound number 1's
Got a
Hartley's,
solid pint
Iona,
there. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
absolutely
did.
did.
I'm sure
Absolutely
you did.
You fucking did. And we got another one here. Iona, you're not quite the Dead Rabbit though.
I love the branded glasses.
Yes.
Everywhere we've gone that's good had branded glasses.
Can we just point out that Eric, not this Eric, the better Eric.
Too many fucking Erics there.
The better Eric split the G here, so that's 4 out of 4 fucking pubs. We split whatever the fuck it is here. Come with us to the next pub.
The Craic.
It's got a
The
really good
Craic,
name.
lad.
It's named after my podcast. It's crazy. Let's see, is there? We're on our way to a pub that's named after my podcast, which is pretty incredible. I hope I don't get mobbed by fans. Hoping I don't. Let's see what happens. I hope you're enjoying your beach day, Jordan, you bitch. Sorry, let's go in. Fuck you, Jordan.
All right, what's the Craic? Is that what we say when we walk in? You think they got Killian's Irish Red here?
It's me!
Everyone, here he comes, here he comes. This is how I know that it's like a real pint, this right here. I don't know if that means anything, but I feel like only
me what you're talking
European
about.
glasses have that. I swear. I only feel like European glasses have that.
Right, lads,
Ooh,
Eric,
that looks simply
we need a split from one of us here. It's the last bar. How do you say it?
slanter.
Slanter, everyone! It's a running joke. He doesn't know how to say it. Slanter.
Slanta.
You ready?
Come on, we need one.
Come on,
You failed. We only have 2 more shots. We gotta go 5 for 5. Come on, BT. Here we go.
I'll let you go first. Come on, you can do this. You can do it. Give me 2 seconds. Come on, GC. Come on, GC.
Just a little far, a little long.
Pressure is on.
I mean, what's
Oh, I like this angle. I like this angle of it. This angle doesn't look bad.
That's perfect.
No, I got a right angle. Petesy, this is all on you.
The table is wonky, are they?
Table's wonky.
Do it on a level surface and see. That might be it.
Nah, you save us, Petesy. Save us.
I've got one cheek on, one cheek off. Where are we?
Oh, that's a perfect split right there.
The black velvet, champagne, and
Champagne and Guinness.
Guinness. Yeah.
Looks horrid.
Absolutely disgusting.
His father is rolling in his grave right now.
It's absolutely fucking morbid what just happened to my mouth. Right, so this is pretty good. It's down there with the Clonard.
I think I'm going Dead Rabbit, Hartley's, Iona, Craic, Clonard.
And interchangeable, to be fair, the top three. If anyone told me they had the top three in any different order, I'd be happy enough with it.
Top three interchangeable, bottom two interchangeable. Maybe we go Clonard because of the spice bag.
The spice bag was unreal in the Clonard. Hey, and this is a really good place too. Fair play to everyone. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play to you, camera guy Nick. I'm going to be so fucked up on this plane tomorrow. All for you beautiful people. Mwah.